Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jeff, aka Poptoogi, and this video is for my Patreons to show you what you're getting for March. I know it's halfway through March already, but I just wanted to make a video to show you everything that you're getting. And for future Patreons, just to let you know, I'm actually going to be getting rid of the $1 and $5 tiers and just having $10, only because that's all of my patrons are all $10. So I'm just going to have one package to give away a month. And also, I just wanted to let you know that every month, no matter what, you always get these two characters whenever you join, which is the male and female character. For those of you who don't know, these characters are fully rigged, and you can make dozens of characters from a single file. So there's the male and female, and I'll just scrub through the timeline so you can see these characters are all made from the same file in the same rig. So change from my character and this blonde woman to a woman with a ponytail and a cowboy, to a boxer, to this girl, to all these other characters. They're all made from one single file. And just really quickly, I'll show you how they work. So I'm going to turn off the female. So this is the Poptoogi character, and you can see right here, I'm just going to go in here. So he's fully rigged, ready to animate, has switch layers for the hands, so you have a bunch of different hand poses. And then I have, to change the character's looks, all of these are called smart bones. And this changes the upper torso. The shirts turn into long sleeve, short sleeve, and the bottoms change with different shoes and feet. And then also, when you go into the faces, this is where you can change the appearance of the headgear. So they have different hats, different facial accessories that you can turn off and on, bandanas, glasses, different hairstyles. And once you just turn these smart bones and choose the way you want your character to look, it's ready to go. It keeps that animation no matter what you do. So it's really, really easy to change characters. Let me go back real quick and erase all that. So that's how I made all of these characters. And they're all, the same animation is applied to all of them. And then it's really easy to change the skin tones. Even though they're on separate layers, if I go into the styles and I change like the skin tone, you can see it changes the hands and the head and all of the parts together. So you can make your character a different color. You can do the same with hair and all that kind of stuff. So you always get those to start off with. Once you become a patron, you can just download them directly from the Patreon site. But then this month, I created a character based on this tutorial I made for making Finn from Adventure Time. But I didn't want to give away a copyrighted character, so I created a generic character, and this is just the same type of Adventure Time character, but the big thing about him is that he has a body turn. So if I go into the timeline, you can see this real quick. His body rotates 360 degrees, and the head is actually separated. If you go into the face, you can do the head turn separately, just so you can have your character looking in different directions. The way that this character is rigged, he's got strokes for fingers and arms, so it's really easy to grab these the fingers and just adjust them to where you need them to be. And you can foreshorten them, stretch them, and then move them into place. It's just kind of a new thing that I've been using in Anime Studio, trying to make different fingers and things like that, just for more posability, I guess. Is that a word? But anyway, you can turn him sideways, or all the way around in the main timeline. Where's his body turn? So I can have him facing away from the camera, turn his head so he can be, you know, looking at these trees in the background. For the hands, you can just grab the thumb and switch it on the other side to make it look correct. for different hand poses and things like that. So this character is going to be in the March Patreon rewards. And then also the background itself. You'll notice if I do a Command R and render it, it's an Adventure Time background that I redrew and recreated in Anime Studio. So it's all vector. And then you'll notice that there's a smart bone on that. And if I change this, you'll see that I've animated the background, the trees and the shadows and the highlights and everything can change. The sunset is now part of the background, and it goes from purple to yellow, and everything in the scene has changed color, and you can turn it all the way to night. And when you turn it to night, you'll see that everything's colored differently, and there's stars out, and it's basically just an animated background, so you can kind of mess with that and see how that works. So that's the character I'm giving. And then I made some props that are just animated. They're really just for, I want to give stuff away that you can just put into a scene and just use right away. So these are like street lights and street signs. You'll notice if I hit play, the railroad crossing blinks, and then these alternate. And if I do a Command R and render, you can see it's actually got a soft glow, so it actually looks like lights are blinking off and on. You can see the crosswalk, the don't walk guy is lit up. But the railroad crossing, I have rigged to a smart bone, so if I go in the timeline and play it, and then I lift the crossbar up, you'll notice that it turns off, just like it would in real life. And if you lower it, it just turns back on. I've just rigged it in a way where it'll turn off and on at a different angle. And then all of the traffic lights and things like that all have smart bones on them. So the traffic light control, you can go from stop, yield, go. Again, if I render it, you can see the light, how it actually looks. Looks a lot better. Same with the crosswalk signs. You got stop and go, walk, don't walk. The barrier, where is that at? Crosswalk, flash, oh, the roadblock. So I have that on a cycle, so it just blinks like it normally would, but you can also turn it off and on with the smart bone too. So I'm putting that in the rewards also. And also, whenever I make a tutorial, I give the work file away too. So we have the one that I just made with the tornado. So you'll get the tornado, and Poptoogi character I just made this month is in this animation, so he'll just be in that file. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's actually rain on here. There is rain already in the scripts for Anime Studio, but this is one that I made. It's just this file right here. It just has a rain coming down, then it has an impact splatter a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but that's going to be in the file too, so you can mess around with that if you want to. And then I have a couple of patrons that have offered to give away some of their work and their scripts and stuff to help kind of build my Patreon account, which is unbelievable. Phil Gunter, he's the dude that made the skeleton for the X-ray tutorial I did. Do I have that open? So yes, Phil made this. This was last month's tutorial for the X-ray, but here's his skeleton that I have rigged, but I'm going to be making a tutorial about shattering the skeleton too. But he's just a really great artist, and he offered to give me some artwork that he's made. So this month, gave me this portal gun, which is, if you're a fan of Rick and Morty, you know, like I am. It's a different color though, so it's not their actual portal, you know, but check it out. The gun shoots a portal and opens up and spins, and if I render it, you can see that he used soft edges and gradients to make it look actually more like a portal, which is really awesome. So that's going to be in the rewards also. And then another patron, his YouTube name is Orson Galore, and I'll link his YouTube channel, and also I'm going to be posting his tutorials on my channel to show you how these work. But basically what he gave me is some scripts that he made that are, I don't know, I don't want to say, it's cliche to say game changing, but that's what they are. I mean, they're just, it's crazy. It's basically a camera studio for Anime Studio, which is crazy. I think Smith Micro should actually have this in the program itself. But I'm going to show you really quick what these scripts are. So let me go to, I have them installed right here under my tools. You can see other. I have the camera dolly script that he made, and then the camera manager. And the first thing I'm going to show you is the camera manager. Let me open this file up. So if you guys have seen my Anchorman little skit, let me zoom in here. Here's the two, the male and female Poptoogi characters. I altered them for this scene, and here they are talking. Now normally when you want to, if you've seen my video on changing scenes, you know that you have to make keyframes for the pan and zoom, and the positioning for all your camera movements. But what these scripts do is takes all that work out and does it for you. So I have two scenes set up here. I grab my Anchorman one, and I grab the Poptoogi, or the Finn one from Adventure Time. I'm going to show you how this script works really quick. So the camera manager is the first one I want to show you. So we'll start off here. I'm going to create a new one. And this is going to create a file for your camera options. Now, be sure to watch the videos on my channel and check out Orson's channel to see how this really works. But I'm just doing a quick overview. So you'll once you have this tool installed, you'll see this menu up here. I'm going to create new, and this is going to create a new camera file. So I'm just going to call this News 2 actually, because I already created one. So News 2 right here, and you'll see I have this put to set because we want to set our camera angles. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and on frame 0, I'm just going to hit 1, and that's going to make the camera be this wide shot right here. So I click that, it says version 1 or V1, and then I want to make another camera position where it's zoomed in. So I'll go ahead and zoom in, move my characters, kind of make sure they're in the right place. Let me move it over a little bit. That. I'm just checking in the timeline to see where they're framed up. So this is the second shot I want. So I'll go back to the camera manager, and on 2, I'll just click that. And then let's say I want a shot of Finn right here. Like say we're doing a newsreel or something, and now we want to cut to the other scene. Okay, now I'm gonna move it over to the Finn scene, zoom out so we get this wide shot. Right there, and then I'll go back to camera manager. I'll click 3, so this is my third camera angle, and then I'll do a zoom in of Finn also, and make that 4. So camera manager and 4. Okay, so now that we have our cameras set to where we want, I'm going to go back to frame 0, and I'm going to go to insert. Instead, I'm just hitting that bullet, and I'm going to go to my first camera. So I'll click on that. You'll notice it snaps right back to that first camera position. So I can go in the timeline anywhere. I'll go to 48, and then I'm going to click on cut 2. So it's going to jump cut from this camera to the second one. So I'll hit V2, and you'll notice it puts in the keyframes for me. Goes from wide shot to close up. I can do the same thing. I'll just click V1 and it'll go back to a wide shot. I'll go somewhere else in the timeline and I'll click V3, my third camera. Cuts right over to Finn. And 4, close up. Then I can go back to V1, back to the newsroom. So it's basically just an amazing way to set up a bunch of different camera shots for your animations. It's dope. And he's letting me give this to you guys as a Patreon reward. So that by itself is really cool. Oh, and not only that, if you unselect cut to, it'll actually it'll move from one camera shot to the other. So let's say let's go to cut to camera 1, and then I'm going to go forward a little bit and I'll take cut to off and go to the tight shot. And now you can see it just animates from the wide angle and zooms in. It's dope. I mean, when you guys start using it, you'll see how awesome it is. But he didn't only give me that; he also gave me this dolly shot thing, which is I'm just going to show you really quick in a new file. So I'm going to import an image that I just found online. This is a Mega Man stage from Nintendo back in the day, Mega Man 2. So you can see here's our stage area. I'm going to move this huge picture into frame. So if I hit render, there's our shot right there, okay? We're starting on the stage, Mega Man stage. And then I'm going to go ahead and import a character, or just an image right now of Mega Man, because I just tested this out. So just pretend this is a character that you're animating. Now, if you wanted to create an animation where a character is running through this really big scene, like this, you'd have to animate your character and do all these camera shots, and it'd be really time consuming and whatnot. But this script, I'm just going to show you because it's dope. So let's say I have this character. I'm going to animate him really quick going through the scene, but I'm not going to use any camera movements at all. Okay? I'm just going to scrub through the timeline, and I'm going to move the character, and this is going to be real sloppy. Let's say he jumps, jumps, lands, jumps again, lands. And you can see I'm animating outside of the canvas area. But again, this is just for tutorial purposes, or not tutorial, just an example to show you guys how this works. And again, just imagine that I'm animating my character running, jumping, going over this. Again, super sloppy. Have him jump, go down this ladder. Animate him going through the water. And coming out here. But I could do this through the entire scene, this really big, long scene. And then I'd have to do a lot of camera positioning and this and that. Well, what this script does is basically it locks the camera onto the object or layer that you choose. So I have Mega Man selected. This is crazy. Watch this. Let me zoom in here. So I'm just going to click dolly options, and I want it to end wherever my animation ends. I think it was around, hold on. Yeah, about 190. That's where I had it before. So I'll hit dolly options. We'll just have it end at 190. And the frame interval the frame interval is where the keyframes are going to be placed. So you can see if I do that and click OK. Now let's go back to the beginning of the animation. Watch what this does. That camera is now locked on the character, so when I scrub through the timeline, it actually follows him. And when he stops, the camera stops. When he jumps, the camera jumps. Now there's parts obviously where the camera is getting a little bit off of the background. But this is just an example to show you what the power of what this can do. So it's basically following the character, going through the tunnel, down into the water, and back out. And I just had to click one button. So really, really amazing scripts, great animation and tutorials and artwork for you guys. Sorry this video is so long. Testing out this green screen too. I know you guys really wanted to see my face. Nobody wanted to see that, but I'm just trying it out because I might be doing some gameplays and stuff just to make some videos in between tutorials. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Oh, really quick, I'm going to show you how to install these scripts really quick. I'm on a Mac and I'm on Anime Studio 11. So it's going to be a little different. Remember, definitely check out Orson's tutorials on my channel so you can see how they work, and check out his YouTube channel as well. And really quick, I'm just going to go open my applications folder, Anime Studio. I'll right click on it, click Show Package Contents, go into Contents folder, go into Resources, and then go down into Support. I know this is very long and it might seem scary to add something, but it's really easy. Go to Support, and I'm putting them under Scripts and then Tools. So double click that Tools and you'll see a bunch of different tools and their icons in here. This is where I chose to put them. And when you download these scripts from my Patreon page, you're just going to open up these scripts, and there is a Lua file, a .lua file, and a PNG. You're just going to grab both of those and drag them and drop them into that folder. And do the same for the camera manager. Same thing. Oh, I already did them. And then once you restart Anime Studio, they're just going to be popped up here on in these tools right here on your screen. So that's it. Again, I know I already said this, but if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you want to see some more information, go to my Patreon channel, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.